What handgun is right for me? A proper handgun selection methodology, Part 2. In the last video, I took you through a handgun selection methodology and we closed by telling you that there is a very small percentage of folks that will stick around after knowing you have a gun, seeing it pointed at them, realizing that you are now shooting at them, and that get shot. These predators will fall into one of several categories or they may fit into multiple. Point 1. Dead or severely injured. Point 2. Wounded but still committed to their objective. Point 3. On a mind-altering substance. 4. Insane. 5. Professional or planning to harm you. In this video I will expound on these categories a little bit more and tell you what should happen next based on which category your assailants fall into. Category number 1. Dead or severely injured. Ensure that the threat is neutralized. If the bad guy is still holding a weapon, tell him in a commanding voice to drop it. After the threat is neutralized, the first thing you want to do is verbally secure your family members. Call out to them and tell them to respond back to you. If there are young children at home, tell them to stay in their rooms. Ask everyone if they are alright. You want to find out if anyone is hurt. Tell everyone to lock their rooms and to only open the door when you ask them to. If there is an adult in the house, ask that person to bring you the phone, or to call 911. If they bring you the phone, then you should call 911. At no time should you take your eyes or your weapon off of the intruder. If you are alone in your house, you can skip this step and continue with the next. Scan the area and immediate rooms with your eyes and peripheral vision. Stay away from any windows or entries to the room that you are in. Burglars are not always alone, and the bad guy could have a buddy. If possible, maneuver your body to a corner of the room. Preferably a walled corner so that your back is protected and so you can see any entries to the room. Once again, keep your weapon pointed at the intruder. Do not touch or approach the intruder. Keep a safe distance from them at all times. When you call 911, inform them that an intruder came into your home and that you were terrified. Tell them that you thought the intruder would kill you or hurt your family. Tell them that you shot the intruder and you do not know if she was alone. Tell them that the intruder is no longer moving. Do not lie to the authorities. Tell them your address, and describe to them what you look like, so the authorities recognize you as the good guy when they arrive. The police will know that shots were fired and they will be ready for action. They will be hyped up on adrenaline and you don't want to get shot by mistake. Stay on the line with 911 until the authorities arrive. Try to remain calm. Once you hear the sirens, reholster your gun, but keep your eyes on the intruder if possible. You do not want to have the gun in your hand when the police come. If you are not alone and there is another adult there with you, have them open the door for the police. Once the police arrive, you will be safe. Obey their instructions completely and without question. Contact your or an attorney as soon as possible. Unfortunately, you will need one. Your weapon will be confiscated by the police and you will probably be taken to the police station. Have your attorney meet you at the police station and do not discuss the incident further until the attorney arrives. The attorney will advise you further. Category number 2, wounded but still committed to their objective. We will assume in this category that you have managed to wound the bad guy. Either you have shot him or you have done something else that has taken him out of an optimal health range. Remember though, he is still committed, which means that he is still advancing towards you or still making you feel threatened. If this is the category that the bad guy falls into, then you only have one option. Continue to shoot the bad guy until the threat is completely neutralized. Once the threat is completely neutralized, follow the rest of the instructions in category number 1. Category number 3, on a mind-altering substance. If the bad guy falls into this category, then he or she may not have the normal fear response that we previously spoke about. If one of your bullets has hit its mark, they may not realize that they are wounded. In this instance, you will probably need to shut them down completely, which is going to be your best option if you are still in danger. Now, regardless of what you see in the movies, there are only 3 ways to accomplish this. Point 1. The bad guy has to lose enough blood so that his pressure drops and she passes out and will ultimately expire. Point 2. You shut down the bad guy's computer, brain. Point 3. You make his body unable to move by rendering her supporting limbs useless. Option number 3 is very impractical and is ill-advised, so we will disregard it. Option number 2 involves a head or upper neck shot with a round that is large enough to pass through the skull and destroy enough brain matter to stop the attacker or to sever the spinal cord. This option is also not optimum, as you are probably not trained well enough to do this while you are managing a massive adrenaline dump in your own body. Sky marshals are trained to do headshots because it stops the aggressor so quickly. Many other professionals are also trained to do this, but they spend many hours perfecting their skill. Option number 1 is the best option for you and I, as it is the most practical of the three. In this instance, we fall back on our category number 2 suggestion of continuing to shoot the bad guy until the threat is completely neutralized. Then, of course, the rest of the instructions in category 2 and 1 will apply. Category number 4, insane. It can and should be argued that any person who enters your home uninvited and that does not leave once the shooting starts is insane. I would tend to agree with that opinion. In this category, I would suggest following the instructions listed in category number 2. Category number 5, professional or planning to harm you. This category needs a little explanation, so here goes. What do I mean by professional? Well, a professional is someone that has been trained to hurt or to kill someone. They are very skilled in this craft, although skill levels in this category vary, just like most other skills in life, by the individual. If someone like this is coming to hurt or kill you, then you are in a lot of trouble. The problem with people in this category is that you will probably never know about it until it happens. If you do know that something evil is in the works, then the best advice someone could give you is to report it to the authorities immediately. If you can afford to, get professional security to be with you at all times. Even with those safeguards in place, a diligent assassin that is patient enough can still get to you. The good news is that this is the rarest situation. Most professional killers, if you will, have better things to do than to come after you, or I make no mistake, people like this do exist. Be cautious about who you wrong in life because you just never know. Now about the planning to harm you part. People in this category are people that aren't necessarily professionals, but they are almost equally dangerous because they are planning your demise. They have spent the time doing the research and looking at your schedule and your vulnerabilities. The best thing that you can do to be prepared in this category, or any of the others for that matter, is to practice your skills. Practice shooting skills, self-defense skills, knife skills, and plan as best you can for this type of emergency. Once again, be cautious about who you wrong in life because you just never know. Plan for the worst-case scenario and hope for the best. In the next part of this series, Part 3, we will look at caliber selection, shot placement, and things to think about when selecting your handgun of choice. Remember that this is just one man's opinion and not an excuse to do something stupid. You and only you are responsible for your actions. Friends of the Second Amendment, this writer, and any of our online publications contributors assume no responsibility for any action performed by anyone at any time. Until next time. Be safe, be healthy, and look out for the little guy. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our videos and channel. Thank you for helping us build our community.